So let's look at this former hotel manager. He was managing a migrant hotel. And then he obviously stopped working there. He calls himself a citizen journalist. Adam, his name. He's 32, from Trafford. So the cops stormed his house, said, "You're under arrest for burglary," because apparently he was doing some filming at his old haunt, and nicked a 77p bowl of chicken pasta. That might not be desirable to steal anything. 10 riot cops? Seriously? Let's get a little clip of what he had to say.
I see 10 police officers on my drive in... 10 police officers.
Are you sure? 10?
The CCTV doesn't lie. 10 police officers in full riot gear. So I ran downstairs, opened the door. I was like, "Is everything okay?" They barged through. They says, "Are you Adam?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "You're under arrest for burglary." I said, "Burglary?" I said, "I never burgled anything in my life." And the accusation was taking some chicken pasta and not paying for it.
Was there a possibility to pay for it?
So there's no possibility to pay, no tills, nobody asking for money. I've ran the numbers through AI of how much it would cost with serving it for 300 people, and they said it would be about 77p.
77p. Let's speak to Isabel Oakeshott, Talks International editor, who carried out that interview with Adam. Isabel, good afternoon to you. I mean, we are living in a sort of upside-down world where we're, almost daily, sometimes by the hour, see these kind of stories where journalistically you look at and go, no, that's not true. Read a bit further down and you'll find the truth. But increasingly that isn't the case, because these things are true. They are quite funny on one level, but deeply unfunny on a more serious level. What the hell is going on with our country? And what the heck happened to Adam?
Well, you're absolutely right to say it is sort of funny on one level. I mean, I couldn't help sort of slightly laughing seeing that footage, because it is so completely insane, isn't it? And on the other hand, it's not at all funny, A, for the British taxpayer that does not expect police resources to be used in such a way, and B, for poor Adam, who has never knowingly broken any laws in his life until he found himself accused of this so-called burglary. And it wasn't actually at the hotel he had been working in, because that eventually shut down.
Okay.
After he left that hotel, he went to do a bit of investigating in other hotels, being pretty disillusioned with his experience of working for a long period behind closed doors in a migrant hotel. He's very balanced and measured about it. He said that, there were certain asylum seekers that he got on with and genuinely liked, people he could perhaps have a drink with. But there were a minority who behaved systematically very, very badly, fighting, vandalizing rooms, being rude and disrespectful, even staging hunger strikes because they didn't think the food was up to scratch. And he really wanted to bring this to the public attention. So he slipped into a couple of migrant hotels. Now, I'm not endorsing that or saying that that's the way to go about things, but as far as he was concerned, it didn't involve any kind of break-in, because he was just able to walk through the door. As he says, he is a person of mixed heritage. They just sort of thought he was another migrant, and so in he went. But this I suppose this jaunt of his came to a rather abrupt end after he posted some of the footage he got on social media, and then had a visit not from PC Plod, but from the full Riot squad. And it was horrible, genuinely awful experience for him and his elderly mother. And he's still got the possibility of charges looming over him. And I think what this shows us is just how desperate the authorities are, that we, the British people, should not know what goes on behind closed doors in those migrant hotels. They know that it would fuel resentment, that it would fuel anger, and it would fuel righteous indignation about what people are getting for free when British people are struggling, people who have paid into the system all their lives. And it's not just that they're getting it for free, it is the fact that some of them, I'm afraid, are very ungrateful. And here's the thing, and Adam told me this in quite a lot of detail, I'm sure we'll be bringing some more evidence forward, systematically breaking the law again on these hotel premises, whether it's smoking drugs, whether it is damaging property, whether it's other types of criminality. That is going on inside migrant hotels, and yet it's someone like him who gets arrested.
It's beyond extraordinary. I'm not sure whether it's this story or the BBC editing a Trump speech story that has angered me more today. But this one is, it's certainly right up there, isn't it? And of course, the idea that, you know, even PC Plod might show up, or even a community support officer, that would be a bit weird in itself. But you kind of have to wonder that at the police station, at some level, this was... you know, it's not an instant response. It wasn't a 999 call that said there's some, you know, poisonous kryptonite in some pasta that's sitting there in in Adam's house. This was obviously a meeting took place. They'd seen the post on Facebook, and someone at a senior level had decided logistically that this was the right response, and we need to send 10 of the boys in riot gear to a bloke's house. I mean, you have to wonder, at what point did somebody make that decision?
It's just bizarre, isn't it? You know, I would genuinely, no jokes aside, I'd love to know what the rationale for that was. You know, this is not someone who's any history of violence or causing any trouble whatsoever. So, no, I get that we probably can't have citizen journalists just sort of waltzing in and out of migrant hotels. Frankly, it's probably pretty dangerous for them, given some of the types of people that we're accommodating. I understand that that was a bit of an edgy thing to do, but it shouldn't occupy court time. It shouldn't occupy police time. And, you know, at the very most, I think, as I was saying on Alex Phillips's show earlier, I think just send around a community police support officer if you really feel that there has to be an intervention. And I'm pretty sure Adam would have wound his neck in and would have not done any more such research. Though yeah. I must say that it is thanks to citizen journalists who are a bit edgy and can do things that the rest of us perhaps can't, that we are finding out about stuff that we would otherwise not know about.
Yeah, but, there's literally, in that respect, you're right. I mean, we live in curious times, and once in a while somebody does clock a story that they film themselves and they stick it online, and it does become of interest. And certainly some of these videos, and again, we don't endorse it that people do that kind of stuff, but, you know, journalism works in funny ways, and you know, if somebody has got a story like Adam has and he puts it online, you can't unsee it, so it's there for everybody to look at. This won't result in any court time, will it? You just almost know the police are going to go, yeah, we reviewed the case and there's nothing to see here. I'd just like to know who made the decision to send 10 cops to his house. Took away all of his electronic equipment as well, I understand.
That's right. And look, I actually don't share your confidence. I think that we live in very strange times.
Maybe.
I think we live in an environment at the moment, in a climate in which the authorities, and I'm using that word very broadly, from the, you know, the Prime Minister down to the local police officers, feel that it is necessary to put on a show of force when the little people do anything that might be kind of classified as rising up against the things that we're all fed up about and have to tolerate. And I think, you know, that what that's resulted in is some absolutely breathtaking and totally unjustifiable excesses. You know, we've seen it in the policing of tweets. We've seen it in people being thrown into jail, once again, like Lucy Connolly. And it's just disproportionate. And when ordinary folks have to read about, hear about, or even at worst experience violent crime on our streets, they've got to ask the question, what on earth is the allocation of resources who is deciding to allocate resources in this manner?
Yeah. And was Adam able to shine any light on the interview process post-arrest? Was he able to say, you know, because I always think if that was me, you know, the first thing you'd say to the copper is, come on, guys, you know this is nonsense. We all know it's nonsense. What are we doing here? You know, of that nature. Was he able to explain any of that?
I think that if that happened to an ordinary person like Adam, or any of us really, you're so shocked in that moment that this has happened, that you're perhaps not reacting with that kind of indignation. You're just desperate to prove that you've not done anything wrong. And I must say, I didn't ask him the question, and the reason I didn't is because he had so much to say that was so jaw-dropping about what goes on inside migrant hotels, and we'll be bringing some more of that to our viewers and listeners in the next few days.
Yeah, indeed, there's lots more to come. While you're with us, Isabel, just a quick word, if you would. The Chagos deal apparently has been paused. I mean, this sounds like the news that lots of people wanted to hear, but I'm not going to hold my breath on this. I'm sure there's a technicality or something, and it probably involves the House of Lords.
Well, I wouldn't it be nice to think that the whole thing will, just disintegrate? But it seems far too far gone for that. We've had these odd sort of legal blips in the past, and unfortunately never seem to come to anything. I mean, all credit to those who are doing everything in their power to stop something that is an absolute historic betrayal and truly incomprehensible. On the day where you've got Rachel Reeves standing up and addressing the nation, saying in so many words, folks, brace yourself, because I'm going to come for you and I'm going to give you an absolute financial clobbering. It's just a reminder of how scandalously wasteful this government is with our money.
Spot on. Isabel, great to have you on as ever. Thank you. Isabel Oakeshott is Talk's international editor on that curious story, the one with the pasta, as it would be titled. 77p's worth of pasta, 10 riot cops at his front door, searching his house, taking away his mobile phone and electronic equipment. Yes, it's probably not right to enter a place that you're not meant to go into. I know that, but my limited knowledge of the law suggests to me that if you walked into an open building, I don't imagine you could be done for burglary. I've got a funny feeling the burglary charge, or the suggestion of a charge, ain't going to wash. I don't think they're going to get away with the burglary thing. We are going to watch with interest as to where this one goes, and of course we will fully update you.